Hi students, welcome to Lord's Public School online class. You know, our world is going through a pandemic situation, COVID-19 or coronavirus disease. So, we have to stay home, stay safe. Before starting our lesson, I want to tell you a small story. Once, a group of frogs was traveling through a forest, and at that time, two of them fell into a deep pit. Others crowded around the pit, and they saw how deep the pit was. And they said, "Give up. You couldn't do it." But the two frogs, they tried their level best. They jumped and jumped to get out of the pit. Again, the frogs crowded around the pit. They said, "No, please give up. You couldn't do that." And at that time, one of the frogs, he gave up and he fell into the pit and died. But the other frog, he continuously tried and at last it came out of the pit. When he got out, the other frogs asked, "Did you not hear us?" The frog replied that he was deaf. The frog thought they were encouraging him. So, what is the moral of the story? People's words have a big impact on others. So, think twice before you utter a word. Every word is precious. Sometimes it might just be the difference between life and death. So, welcome to our topic. Today I am going to take the topic tenses. You know, in +1, you have to answer 80 marks written examination and 20 marks for assessment of speaking and listening skills. In these 80 marks, first 20 marks for reading passage, and then the section B, 30 marks, it's for writing and grammar. And the third part, section C, literature, again 30 marks. So you have to attend 10 marks grammar this year. So the first topic is tenses. You know, what is a tense? Here are some examples. First one, I am reading a book now. Look, the time now. Second one, I got a parcel yesterday. Again, the time yesterday. And the third, I will come tomorrow. The time tomorrow. So, all these three examples, three actions. First is reading, second, he got a parcel, and third, he will come. All these actions are related to time. So, tense denotes the time of an action. So, tense denotes the time of an action. So, we can classify tense mainly 3 types. Here, I am reading a book now. Now means the time is present. Then, I got a parcel yesterday. Yesterday means the time is past. And third, I'll come tomorrow. Tomorrow means the action is going to happen, which means in future. So, tense can be classified into 3: present, past, and future. Okay? Tense, it can be classified into 3: present tense, past tense, and future tense. First, Present tense. Present tense can be subdivided into four. They are simple present tense, present continuous, present perfect continuous. Once more, present tense can be subdivided into four. They are simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. First, simple present tense and its uses. Simple present tense. You know, simple present tense, it has a formula. Subject plus do or does plus object. Do and does, these are the auxiliary verbs we are using in simple present tense. For example, first, he likes tea, then I like football, they play cricket. First one, he likes tea. Here the main verb is likes. We can split the main verb. Then we will get does plus like. Or we can easily find out a verb ends with s or es. The auxiliary verb will be does. For example, eats, drinks, sleeps, works, cooks. All these verbs ends with s or es. Here the auxiliary verb is does. Then the second example, I like football. Here like is the main verb. If we split the main verb, we will get do plus like. Again, play. Do plus play. So, a verb that ends with s or es, the auxiliary verb will be does. If a verb does not end with s or es, then the auxiliary verb will be do. And one more, we use does with the singular subjects. For example, Arun, Anita, he, she, it, etc. All these subjects we use does. And all other plural subjects and also with I, we use auxiliary verb do. That is, I like football, the auxiliary verb is do. Again, they, plural, we use auxiliary verb do. Clear? So, simple present tense, tense form is subject plus do or does plus object. Do auxiliary is used with plural subjects and also with the I. Then does is used with singular subjects. Clear? Now the most important part of this tense, that is the uses. Simple present tense has a number of uses, and this tense is very important. The first use, to denote a habitual action. You know what is a habitual action? Habitual action means it's a routine. We are usually doing such actions. It's a continuous process. Every day we are doing such things. So to denote a habitual action, we use simple present tense. For example, he goes to the library every day. He goes to the library every day. It's a continuous process, or it is a routine, because every day means all days is going to the library. That's why we use this sentence in simple present. Look here, the auxiliary. Here the verb is goes, so the auxiliary verb is does, because subject he is singular. So it's a habitual action. So first one, to denote a habitual action. And one more thing, we can easily find out the action is habitual or not. We have some keywords. For example, here is every day, then usually, regularly, often, seldom, hardly, scarcely, never, ever, nowadays, etc. So, usually, regularly, often, seldom, hardly, scarcely, never, ever, nowadays, etc. All these words, keywords, with the help of these keywords, we can easily find out that sentence is habitual or not. So first use, habitual action. Second use, to denote a universal truth or universal fact. For example, the sun rises in the east. Here, sun rises. Sun is singular, so we use the verb rises. The sun rises in the east. It's a universal truth. Or the earth goes around the sun. Another example. So, second use, universal truth. Third one, to denote a scientific facts. To denote a scientific fact. Example, hydrogen combines oxygen gives water. Hydrogen combines oxygen gives water. Or if water reaches 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. All these are examples for scientific facts. So second one is universal truth and third one is to denote scientific facts. The fourth use, to denote a permanent truth or a permanent fact. For example, London lies on the banks of Thames. It's a permanent truth. Or the Taj Mahal lies on the banks of Yamuna. Or Kolkata stands on Hooghly. So the fourth use, to denote a permanent truth. Permanent means it is no change. It has no change. So it's a permanent truth. We can use simple present tense. Now the most important use, the fifth one, that is to denote a planned future action. To denote a planned future action, which means the action already planned and it is going to happen. Example, the school reopens on June 1st. The school reopens on June 1st. It's a planned future action. Or the Prime Minister visits Kerala next month. Again, another planned future action. Here, the verb reopens, school singular, that's why does is the auxiliary. The Prime Minister visits, again, singular subject, we use does. So, the fifth one is to denote a planned future action. The fourth, again, permanent truth. Fifth one, planned future action. Now, the sixth use, to make imperatives, which means to make imperative sentence. I hope you have an idea about the types of sentences. We can classify sentences into four, right? Assertive or declarative. Second one, interrogative. Third one, imperative. And the fourth one is exclamatory. Imperative sentence means the sentence that makes an order or request is called an imperative. Here, examples, get out, shut up. You know one thing, imperative sentence, always the subject is you. Get out means you get out. Shut up means you shut up. Sit down, you sit down. Please do me a favor means you please do me a favor. So in all these imperative sentence, subject is you, and here that's why you is considered as a plural, so we use do. Get means do plus get. Shut means do plus shut. Sit means do plus sit. So to make imperative sentence, we use simple present tense. Now the last one, again, to make exclamatory sentences. to make exclamatory sentences. Again, simple present tense is used to make exclamatory sentences. Exclamatory sentences means the sentence that expresses our sudden feelings or wonder is called an exclamatory. For example, how nice she sings. How nice she sings. For example, how beautifully she sings. How beautifully she sings. It's an example for exclamatory sentence. Again, sings. So it is an example for exclamatory sentence. So these are the normal uses of simple present tense. Once more, first one is to denote a habitual action. Second, to denote a universal truth. Third one, to denote a scientific fact. Fourth one, to denote a permanent truth. And fifth one, planned future action. Very important, to denote a planned future action. Sixth one, to make imperative sentences. And last, to make exclamatory sentences. These are the uses of simple present tense. In all these classifications, simple present tense is very important because it has so many uses. Now the second one is present continuous tense. First one simple present, second one present continuous. Like simple present, the tense form of present continuous tense is subject plus is or am or are plus ing form of the verb. Subject plus is, am or are plus ing form of the verb. Example. First one, he is reading a book. Here the subject is singular, he. So we use auxiliary verb is. Second one, I am writing a letter. Here subject is I, so we use auxiliary verb am. Then the third, they are playing football. Here they is a plural subject, so we use auxiliary verb are. And all these three cases we use ing form of the verb. Here reading, here writing, and here playing. So once more, the tense form of present continuous tense is subject plus is, are or are plus ing form of the verb. Now the uses of present continuous tense. First one is to denote an action that is going on at the time of speaking. An action that is going on at the time of speaking, which means the action that is happening now. For example, I am sleeping now. I am sleeping now is an example of present continuous tense. We can easily find out the sentence is in present continuous tense or not. Again, some keywords here. Now. Now means the action that is happening at the time of speaking. There are some other keywords also. First one is now, then look, then at the moment, and at present. So normally we use these words to find out whether the sentence is in present continuous or not. Now, look, at the moment, at present. These are the keywords. With the help of these keywords, we can easily find out this sentence is in present continuous. So the first use, to denote an action that is going on at the time of speaking. Right. Now, the second use. To denote a near future action. A near future action, which means the action is going to happen. It is going to happen in near future. For example, I am going to buy a new car. I am going to buy a new car, which means I have already taken the decision to buy a new car and I'm going to buy that car. It is going to happen in near future. So two uses. First one, an action that is going on at the time of speaking. Second one, to denote a near future action. So these are the uses of present continuous tense. Now the third one is present perfect tense. Again, the tense form of present perfect tense is subject plus has or have plus V3. V3 means past participle form of the verb. For example, write is the present form, wrote is the past form, and written is the past participle form. V1, V2, V3. So subject plus has or have. These are the auxiliary verbs we use in present perfect tense, and then use the past participle form or V3 form of the verb. For example, she has driven the car. Here she is singular subject, we use auxiliary verb has, and then driven is the V3 form. Drive, drove, driven. Second one, I have got a letter. Subject is I, so we use auxiliary have, and then got is the V3 form. Get, got, V2 and V3 same. Then they have played cricket. They is plural subject, so use auxiliary have, and played is the V3 form here. Play, played, played. It's like go, get, got, play, played, played. V2, V3 same. So with singular subjects we use auxiliary has, and with plural subjects and I we use auxiliary verb have. In all cases we use the past participle form or V3 form of the verb. So present perfect tense form, subject plus has or have plus V3. Now the uses of present perfect tense. First one, to denote an action that finished recently or a recently finished action. Example, he has already reached here. He has already reached here. Again, we can find some keywords here. One is here already, already, just now, yet, till, recently, yet, not yet. All these are examples of present perfect tense keywords. Already, just now, yet, till, recently, not yet, etc. With the help of these keywords, we can find out the sentence is in present perfect. So first use, to denote an action that finished recently. Second use, to denote an action without mentioning its time. To denote an action without mentioning its time. For example, I have got the report. I have got the report. Here, when this action happened, it is not mentioned here. So we can write such sentences in present perfect. I have got the report. I have gone through the report. I have reached there. All these sentences are examples. So an action without mentioning its time. Third one, a past action has some importance in the present. A past action has some importance or some relevance in the present. For example, I have lived in this town for many years. I have lived in this town for many years. Here, this sentence or this action has some relevance in the present also. So, three uses. First one, to denote a recently finished action, an action that finished recently. Second one, to denote an action without mentioning its time. And the third one is to denote a past action that has some relevance or that has some importance in the present. These are the uses of present perfect tense. Now we are into the last section of present tense, that is present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect continuous. Here the tense form is subject plus has been or have been plus ing. Subject plus has been or have been plus ing. Example, I have been playing here since morning. One more. He has been waiting there for 3 hours. Clear? So first one, I have been playing here since morning. Second one, he has been waiting there for 3 hours. Here, subject is I, so we use have been, then ing form. Again, he is singular, so we use has been. Then again here, ing form, waiting. So, the important use of this present perfect continuous tense is to denote an action that began in the past and still continuing in the present. To denote an action that began in the past and still continuing in the present. To denote an action that began in the past and still continuing in the present. These are examples. For example, I have been playing here since morning. So he has been playing there. That action began in the past. It's morning. And now the time almost in the afternoon or in the evening. So it is a continuous action that began in the past and still it is continuing in the present. Again, he has been waiting there for 3 hours. That action began 3 hours before and still it is continuing. So these types of sentences we use present perfect continuous tense. Once more, present perfect continuous tense, the tense form is subject plus has been or have been plus ing of the verb. The important use of present perfect continuous tense is to denote an action that began in the past and still continuing in the present. Hope you understand. And one more thing. Here, two prepositions. One is since, the other is for. Both since and for used to denote time. But since denotes a point of time. Since means a particular point of time. For example, since morning, since yesterday, since Monday, since 3 o'clock, since last year, since my childhood, etc. So, since used to denote point of time. Now, for we use to denote a period of time. So, for denotes the period of time. For example, for 3 hours, for 3 days, for 2 months, for 5 years, for a couple of days, for a few hours. All these are examples. So since denotes The point of time, for denotes the period of time. Clear? I hope you understand the classification of present tense. Once more, simple present, the tense form is subject plus do or does plus object. Then present continuous, the tense form is subject plus is, are plus ing. Third, present perfect, subject plus has or have plus V3. Then present perfect continuous, subject plus has been or have been plus ing of the verb. And uses once more present tense, habitual action, scientific facts, universal truth, permanent truth, planned future action, then to denote imperative sentence and to denote exclamatory sentence. Then present continuous tense, first to denote an action that is happening at the time of speaking. Second, to denote a near future action. Then present perfect tense uses, first one, to denote an action that finished recently. Second one, an action without mentioning its time. Third one, a past action that has some importance in the present. And the last one, present perfect continuous tense. The important use, to denote an action that began in the past and still continuing in the present. Then since, used to denote a point of time. For, to denote a period of time. Now your assignment based on this part, you have to find out the correct tense form of the verbs given in brackets. I'll give you 10 sentences and the verbs given in bracket, you have to find out the correct tense form of the verbs given in bracket. Find out whether that sentence is written in simple present tense or present continuous or present perfect or present perfect continuous. According to our uses, keywords, you can easily find out and do it and submit. I hope you all understand today's class. Before winding up the class, let me recite a sloga from the Bhagavad Gita. Sri Bhagavana Vajaha Uddharedatmanatmanam Natmanavasadaye Atmaiva Hyatmaho Binduratmaiva Ripuratmanaha. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 5, which means, let a man raise himself by his own efforts. Let him not disgrade himself, because a person's best friend or his worst enemy is none other than his own self. Once again, remember, stay home, stay safe. Thank you and have a nice day.